Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump won his fraud trial, at least on appeal. Initially, he might lose because it's New York, Tammany Hall, and they have it out for Trump. Here's an example. I'll give you two articles, one from CNBC, one from Business Insider, why Trump won his fraud suit, at least on appeal, especially with his testimony today. There's a $195 million apartment or penthouse apartment in New York. Do you think it's overpriced? Do you think it's priced? It's reasonably priced for $195 million for a New York apartment? Okay, that's why Deutsche Bank loaned $2 billion to Donald Trump in 20 plus years, because they made money in a city where you can sell an apartment for $195 million. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Share this everywhere. Trump won his fraud case on appeal, or trial on appeal, and that appeal will take place maybe after 2024 when he regains the Oval Office. You should share this segment with anyone who thinks that Trump committed fraud, because that person most likely knows nothing about New York real estate and knows nothing about Tammany Hall in New York, a political machine that wants to ruin Trump and will lose at ruining Trump. They will not be able to destroy this man, nor will they be successful in ultimately preventing him from doing business. In a city where you can buy an apartment for $195 million. Okay, it's a big apartment. Okay, take a look inside the world's tallest residence, a $195 million apartment that starts on the 129th floor of New York City Central Park Tower. Okay. These two articles show exactly why the case against Trump is based simply on political animus. They don't like Trump. They want him to not be able to pay his legal fees, and they want to just ruin and destroy his businesses, and they want to interfere in 24. Okay, these are the people who obsess over Trump enacting retribution as they actively try to harm this man at every turn. How can you have a city where there's a $195 million apartment? I don't care if it's 17,000 square feet. Okay, it's a big apartment, but it's $195 million. You do the math per square footage. That's why Deutsche Bank loaned Trump $2 billion. That's why there was no victim at the heart of this fraud trial. I'll have a live stream tonight, very likely, hopefully tonight at around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to this channel to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications. Go to ajgoodman.com. Lenders loan money to Trump because they make money in a city where you can have a couple $100 million for an apartment, or you can sell an apartment for a couple $100 million. Okay, there aren't many cities in the world, maybe 2 or 3 other cities in the entire planet, where you can charge that type of price. Is that reasonable? Do you think that's overpriced? If somebody told you they had a $195 million apartment in New York, would you say that they were trying to commit fraud? Okay, well, apparently you have city workers, bureaucrats, or city officials, prosecutors who, by the way, are presiding over a city in turmoil, absolute turmoil, like every major blue city in this country. And their biggest job, or their most pressing concern, is going after Trump, the menace to New York, apparently, a city where you can buy a $200 million not building, just an apartment. You're not going to get the whole building, okay? That's not even close to the whole building. It's one apartment for $200 million. Who decides on that price? The market does. And the lenders do. Or the lenders, Deutsche Bank didn't even claim that he committed any criminal acts, nor did any other lender. They're not stupid. You would have to prove that there was some kind of victim here, a bank, a lending institution, a business person, a corporation. Who did Trump commit the crime against? Who lost money with Trump within this New York trial? Nobody. And that's why in a city where you can have a $200 million apartment, Deutsche Bank owned $2 billion to Trump. Now, when you look, their accusations against Trump revolve around him inflating his assets and his building and his net worth. You're talking about a city with a $195 million apartment for sale, where people will buy a $195 million. Billionaires can buy it. So there are no limits to what Trump or any other real estate mogul or investor, there are no limits to what they can appraise a certain building at, or a certain apartment or penthouse or whatever. If you have a $200 million apartment, okay, a big apartment, fine. Then you can also have other properties that are so beyond the scope of what most people would consider reasonable. You're trying to say that Trump committed a crime because he inflated his net worth in a city where hundreds of millions of dollars will get you one apartment. Okay, real estate in New York, real estate in other cities, there are other cities in the world, maybe 2 or 3 other cities, you can say all bets are off in terms of the valuation or the appraisal, or, what the real estate value of a holding would be. So Trump, if any, might have even given the banks a good deal in terms of what he alleged, or what he claimed his net worth was, or what he claimed his buildings were worth. But at the end of the day, even if the prosecutors are right, it's not up to the city to decide that Deutsche Bank made a mistake. It's up to Deutsche Bank and other lenders to claim that Trump actually committed a crime and duped and deceived them. You also have to prove that Trump deceived these banks, that he tricked them into giving him money in a city where you can buy an apartment for $200 million. One apartment, not in a giant building, one apartment in the building. So you're talking about numbers that are so obscene to accuse Trump of overinflating his net worth or any building or any real estate holdings. That's absurd. This is all an attempt. We know this. The numbers, the polls, even now with virtually 100% negative media coverage, the polls show that Trump is up. Everybody knows he's indicted under 91 criminal charges because they want to just ruin and destroy him. That's why certain people are treated. You can look and you can say, okay, when Democrats commit overt crimes, bribery, graft with Hunter and Joe, where Joe is the current president is boasting that he withheld $1 billion in loan guarantees. He withheld, and if you don't fire a prosecutor that just happened to be investigating the corporation that Hunter was on. These are all purely coincidental things going on, okay? But Trump, in a city where you can buy an apartment for $200 million, and got in Trump, who got $2 billion from Deutsche Bank, he committed a big crime. Even though there are no lending institutions or banks who would back the prosecutors in New York up. His testimony proved this today, or addressed this today. He'll win on appeal, people. Hit subscribe and he'll win back the Oval Office. Be here tonight. I should have a live stream, either upload or a live stream. I should have a live stream, though, at around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, everybody.